Okay, so we're here. Oh, hello Rose, hello everyone. Welcome, welcome. I'm sorry we got cut off. I do apologise. My hair is a little bit high tonight. It's a bit like Jedward, so it can't even fit on the camera. Let me move back a bit. Does everyone remember Jedward? Does anyone remember them? I showed my age there with Jedward. But thank you so much for coming back on the live stream. As I was saying, this is the live stream for you guys. So there's a lot of spiritual activity, and because there's a lot of you guys with gifts tuning in, please just be a little bit patient with the Wi-Fi. It does cut out all of the energy charge of everyone on here. It can go a little bit cray-cray and it can cut off and it can cause absolute mayhem. I don't know if anyone knows that joined the Psychic Preschool, the second training, the second free training, where we were doing an actual case study of reading. And there was so much energy and so much electricity and so many spirits, it just wouldn't work. We had to literally spend 20 minutes trying to load the pages, trying to get everyone to get it all to work. And it was carnage. But because I'm used to it, I'm quite patient with it and I'm quite relaxed with it. But I think for you viewers, it must be a little bit boring, a little bit annoying. But that's what's going on. That's what it is. It's spirit, okay? So if it happens again or you get cut off or thrown off the live stream, it's spirit. Just come back on and give it a couple of minutes, all right, and you will be able to log back in. Anyway, let's get started. So my darlings, I am here to give you a live Q&A. Lots of you, as a result of my 3 trainings, the Psychic Preschool, have had a lot of questions and a lot of things have cropped up for you all, and a lot of you are actually thinking, do you even have a gift? Is it worth you even developing? What are the real signs and almost symptoms of it? Hello Danielle, you're just in time. What are the signs and symptoms? You know, how do we know? How do we delve deeper? Is it worth you actually taking the course? Is it actually worth you delving into this anymore? And there's lots and lots of things that are probably going around your mind. And because I'm getting a lot of messages, and which I love, by the way, I love it. I love reading your experiences. And so if you are sending me a message, please, you know, go deep. Tell me what you've been experiencing, because it takes me way back to my childhood and way back to before I actually opened up and I developed properly. And it also really cements it for me that this is why I do it, to help so many of you, because I do not want you all sat there worrying, and I don't want you all feeling like you're going crazy, and I don't want you to feel that there's no options out there for you, and I don't want you to feel like you're going to have this bad energy in your house and negative energy around you. And I don't want any of that to be on your mind, which is why I created Psychic School, because it will give you the relief from the symptoms that you have probably experiencing right now from not being developed, and it will help you move forward and help you get to a space where you feel really, really good and you feel really energized, charged, and, you know, ready to start developing your gift in the right way. And that's what it's all about. You know, your gift isn't meant to be a ball and chain around your neck and stress you out. It's not meant to do that. But when it's not developed, it does do that in occasions. Not everybody, but the vast majority of people, you know, they struggle maybe with like fibromyalgia, or they feel fatigued, or they feel very anxious, or they feel like they can't be around certain people, and they feel so much energy and everything's so charged around them that it's kind of not serving them. It does feel like a weight around your neck. And if that's the case, hello Chelsea gorgeous, hello. If that's the case, then you do need to start developing and start to alleviate those symptoms, because when you do open up and when you do start to follow spiritual practices, you start to alleviate a lot of the symptoms and you start to feel really good and you start to feel really light. So even if you don't want to become a fully fledged medium or a fully fledged light worker, you know, like, you kind of don't need to. You don't need to put a time scale on things. You can do things as and when you want to, when it feels good to you, when it feels convenient for you. And you can just feel the benefit of, you know what, I know I've got this gift, I've got some kind of gift, I'm going to explore what type of gift it is, and I'm going to take my time with learning it, and then I'm going to actually feel good for it. I'm going to feel better for it, because, you know, it's no secret, and a lot of you are new here, by the way, so hello. But it's no secret that I struggled with a gift for a number of years. There was a lot of times where I didn't sleep. I was too scared to go to sleep. I was too scared to dream. I was too scared that I was going to be woken up in the night with one of them next to me. I was too scared to, I was just absolutely terrified. I'd have the worst dreams. I'd have predictions. I'd have people talking to me constantly. I was literally throwing holy water all over myself every night and praying to every god, animal, angel, anything up there to protect me and keep me safe. And I was literally terrified beyond belief. So when it come to actually developing and opening up, I was like, do I really want to do this? What am I going to actually open up to? You know, what if there's something that's really negative? What if there's something awful? What if something attaches itself to me? And oh gosh, what if, you know, all these weird and wonderful things go around my mind. You know, I'm a mom, so I've got to really think about my babies and Mr. H. You know, I can't just bring anything into this house. Like, and what if I read for someone and they're going through a really heavy time, they're heavily or severely depressed, and then I come away and I feel heavily, severely depressed, and I can't shift that energy off me, and like all of these things. And let me know, give me some love hearts in the comments if this was you, or if this is you now, or if it was you and you've moved forward with it, let me know. But let me know how you're experiencing it, if these are the things that are going through your mind. And I was really terrified, and I thought, what if my babies can't sleep? What if it sits in the room next to them? What if, you know, just like all these things, because it is like the fear of the unknown, isn't it? And if you put it into the context of, if you leave your front door wide open at night, you know, you wouldn't sleep very well in your bed, would you? You'd be like, oh. So imagine if you moved to an area where there was like, it was Pleasantville. Has anyone seen the film Pleasantville? Right, Pleasantville. If you've moved to Pleasantville, right, and everyone's going to leave their doors open, they're saying to you, it's absolutely safe, leave your doors open, go to bed, let the flow of like cool breeze come through your house, you don't need to worry about locking your door, it's all good, hello Kathy, you know, let it all through, it's fine, just leave the door open. You'd be like, yeah, all right then, okay, I'll try it. And you go to bed, and you probably sat there thinking, what's that noise? And every time there's a little noise, you'd be eye open, oh my gosh, oh, what about this? So you'd be literally panicking when you were every noise. But even though you've been assured you're safe, you still would take a while to get used to it, wouldn't you? You know, you'd still think about previous experiences, and history tells us it's not safe to leave our doors open, and if you leave the door open, you can invite anything in, can't you? Well, this is the thing. So it's kind of similar with spirit. I'm telling you to open that door, trust me, and lie in your bed, and everything's going to be hunky-dory. So I can appreciate it's not the easiest, and it's probably not good for you to like go, oh yeah, all right then, great, I'll start today, Katie. But the alternative, if you think about it, is what do? Do you live in fear? Do you live in fatigue mode? Do you live in the heavy energy? Do you live in that part of you that struggles when they go to environments where there's lots of people? Do you stay in the mindset of being woken up at night and, you know, you just don't know what's going to be at the end of your bed? You know, do you stay in that mentality and feel awful and feel tired and headachy and heavy and not good? Or do you take the time to develop and go with somebody who's been there, done it, got the t-shirt, and now does this every day for a living, and is telling you, I'm living proof that if you come out the other side and you take the time, you will feel the benefits, you will feel better, and your gift will feel like a gift, and you won't feel like a heavy weight on top of you. It will feel amazing. And once you get that relationship with spirit, oh my gosh, if I could just tell you what it's really like, it's literally, it's like someone singing all the time and like butterflies, and it's like you've got this powerful force around you that's literally it's not a very good analogy, but this is the only way I can think about it. So it's like you've got this powerful force and energy all around you in this protector mode. But then, do you know, if you ever go and see, has anyone ever been to a castle, like an old castle, and you see like the suit of armour, you know, the silver people that look like, half the time I'm convinced there's somebody in there, but those suit of armours, it's like you're in a suit of armour, so you've got complete protection all around you, and nothing can hit you and nothing can hurt you. That's what it feels like. It is just incredible. It's like you're so protected, and you almost like, you just know anything that you need guidance on, you can reach up. It's like having an instant hotline to something, so you never make a mistake again. And it's like, oh, what do I do with this? Or can you give me support with this? Or can you help me here? And there was a lady a couple of weeks ago that was saying that she felt greedy for asking spirit for guidance and spirit for support with her. And I was like, no, you shouldn't feel greedy or feel bad or feel needy. You know, that is what they're there for. That's why you've got your gift. That's why you've got that connection. Your guardian angel's only job is to look after you and keep you safe. So they wouldn't be doing their job if you don't actually ask them for a bit of support and go, you know what, I need help with this, this and this. Is this something that you can support me with? If you give them direction and you lead them, it can only lead to positivity, and it can only lead to a good thing. So actually it's your duty to be clear with them, and it's your duty to to ask them exactly what it is that you need support with, and then they can help you that little bit more. So in that respect, you've got to think to yourself, where are the pros and cons, right? So is where I am sitting at the moment with my gift currently serving me? You know, you're not sure whether you even have a gift, maybe. You're thinking that you might be having moments of being cray-cray. You're scared to tell people what you can actually see or do. And you're sitting there thinking, is this really me? Is this really going to help me? I don't understand. I don't know if I've got the headspace for it. I don't know if I'm vibrationally ready. You know, is this going to really serve me? So you're in that moment, and you're in that uncertainty and that energy where you're not quite sure what's working out for you. Well, the alternative, you can either stay in that energy, which is going to keep you at a low vibration. So yes, you are more at risk. You're more at risk when you're at a lower vibration of energy draining you and more spirits attaching themselves to you and not feeling great. Or you can actually take the time to develop, do it at your own speed and pace, get some support and love and guidance along the way. And then as you start to develop and find your gateway, you're going to start to feel uplifted. You're going to start to feel like, you know what, this is why I've got the gift. It's all piecing together. My life's making so much more sense now. I know where I'm supposed to be going. I know I can give guidance. I can close off. I can protect myself. Certain things that used to bother me before don't actually affect me anymore. I feel safe. I feel secure. You see in the world in a whole different light. It is literally, I think I've said this to you all before, but like there was a road, when I used to take my girls to dance at the old dance school, there was a road that I used to go down, and I used to drive to the dance school back and forth all about some evenings, like 4 or 5 times. It was crazy. It was absolutely ridiculous. And I'd drive back and forth to the dance school, and I'd go the same routes. It'd be the same things everywhere. And then the more I started to develop and like really like home in on my gift and really start to feel the beauty of spiritualism, really feel their presence with me, I was driving along and I could see all the beautiful countryside, and I had to go through an area that was heavily built up and wasn't the prettiest, but there was all this beautiful countryside in the background. And I was like, wow, driving along. And Mr. H was with me in the car, and he's like, what's wrong? And I said, look at the beautiful countryside, look at the hills, look at this. And he's like, yeah, that's always been there. And I said, have they always been there? It was like I was literally just opening my eyes to a whole new world, like everything. I was just so focused on survival mode and where I've got to be and what I've got to be doing, and trying to get through kind of the day with because I felt so heavy and I felt so tired, and I've been waking up at night because spirit wake you up, and yeah, not feeling great, that I had kind of just gone into this bubble of not aware what's around me, almost like, does anyone else experience that? Give me some love hearts if you've been in that sort of situation where you feel like you're just kind of going through the motions of life, and you know, you don't really know what's going on around you. You're kind of just in I've got to do this next, and I've got to do that, and then I've got to be so and so. And I know a lot of people felt like that before lockdown. Maybe lockdowns give you a bit of light relief, but you do start to see, the more you open up, you see everything in a more brighter lens. That's the only way I can describe it. It's not rose tinted glasses, but you see it in a brighter lens, and you see the beauty, and you have more appreciation for things around you, and it's just incredible. It's absolutely incredible. And that's how you know that you're spiritually open. So a lot of the people on the course that have just gone, they were saying, yeah, I understand now, like I'm looking at this area and there's horses there, and I didn't even notice there were horses there, and now every morning I walk the dog and I see the horses, and you know, they're saying it's so beautiful and so calming, and how could I have never noticed, and how could I? And it's like, it's okay, it's all right. You're spiritually becoming more awoken. This is what happens. And you start to feel good, like they wake up in the morning. And, you know, when you wake up sometimes, and people who aren't developed but have a gift, they can actually feel exhausted in the morning, even after like 9, even 10 hours sleep, if spirit haven't woke you up. And they wake up and they feel exhausted. But when you actually develop with spirit, you wake up and you feel like elated, you feel good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm no morning person. You won't catch me up at... I've got business friends that get up at 5 a.m. and they call it a 5 a.m. club, and they do that. And they're like, oh, have you ever thought to get up early and then like go for a run and do this? I'm like, no. Who would? No. So I'm not a morning person, so I don't wake up and jump out of bed. That'd be a lie. But I wake up and I feel like I've slept, and I feel refreshed, and I feel ready for the day, and I'm ready to talk to spirit, and I'm ready to go, right, what's today? What do we need? What's going to happen? So I'm ready for the day ahead. but I certainly don't jump up out of bed. That's a lie. And anyone that knows me well knows exactly that I'm like that. So this is the kind of things that you're going to feel, and you're going to feel shifted. And the thing about it is, I've created Psychic School, and this was something I was unsure of when I first created Psychic School. I am going to come to your questions, by the way, so get them coming. Any questions you've got, any worries or anything, any experiences that you've had, if you're doubting if you've got a gift, just start typing away now, let me know, and I'm going to come to your questions. But when I first started to write Psychic School, and I was like, right, okay, what do they need to know, which levels, how am I going to get them from here to there, what their experience is, how can I get them forward, how can I shift them, what can I do next? So I was thinking, how can I serve people, how can I help them, how can I give them exactly what they need? And I was sat there looking at it all thinking, oh God, there's so much content here. And I've been training for 16 years. So, and in and out of circles, in and out of psychic schools, and obviously a lot of self-development as well, because there wasn't a lot around when I was trying to develop. You know, I'm going way back. You know, I'm no young spring chicken, I'm 40, so we're going way back. And to be honest, it's only in the past 5-6 years that spiritualism, thanks to America, has been allowed to be cool. And also we've been allowed to talk about without people going, oh, she's a bit freaky, or weirdo. And you do still get some people like that, but sadly that is always going to be the case. But actually the vast majority of people are becoming more awoken to spirituality and actually interested in psychic gifts and psychic abilities and talking to spirit and embracing spiritual practices into their lives. It's actually becoming a thing where people aren't so running away from it. You know, it's something interesting. So I was like, how do I cram 16 years of all of my knowledge and all of my content and all of the things I've been learning into a course for you guys and modules? And that's why it's done over segments, and that's why it's drip feeded to you. So you will have access to the course, but it will be on a timed basis. And also you can do it at your own time as well, which is, I know, a very, very popular thing with lots of people, because they want to have a chance to actually do it in their own time. People are busy, people have got lives, and yeah, they just want to take the time with things. So you can absolutely take your time with it, and you can just follow the pattern of the live streams as and when you are ready to do it. And that's the beauty of it. I'm literally teaching you everything you need to know in one training, and you will feel so elated and so good, and you'll just be like, you know what, why didn't I do this years ago? That's what most people say when they've done the course. Right, so you're going to see my face right up to the camera now so I can have a look at your questions. So what's been happening to you? What have you been experiencing? Has any of this actually made sense to you? You know, talk to me, guys. I'm here for you all. I don't want anyone to ever feel that they're alone with their gift, because I did for so long. It was awful. It was awful. Okay. Do you get really tired after a day of readings? Ooh, Donna. Oh, I cut off again. Donna, brilliant question. The answer to that is, I know my limits. So I know how many readings I can do where I won't be fatigued and won't be drained. I'm very, very conscious of my vibration. And the reason for that is because if I'm not conscious of my vibration and what I can manage, then the readings and the connection to spirit starts to falter and starts to go a bit more distant. And then if that's distant, then the people I'm reading for don't get an accurate, clear read, and it becomes harder for them, it becomes harder for me, and it's just not fair on them. So I don't do any more than a maximum of 4 readings per day. So 4 is my maximum. If I've done any more than 4, then the 5th one is just rubbish. It's just rubbish. It's a really bad connection. So I'll only do 4. And that's for the hour, 4 hours, or 4 half-hour sessions. But it doesn't really matter. It's 4 different energies, 4 different people, no more than that. The thing that tends to make me tired is if I've done 4 readings and then I run around doing the school pickups, I make tea, I put washing on, you guys know what it's like. Then I run around Morrison's and decide I'm going to be Dale Winton and throw everything in the basket. And then I might decide, oh my God, I need to put washing on. And then I do this, and before I know it, I don't realise how much I've actually done. Then I'm really tired. I get really tired at night. So I try and monitor what I'm doing and try and stagnate it and help myself out. If I've done a live event where I'm actually in an audience and there's lots of people around, then by the end of the 2 hours, I don't even know my own name. Yeah, so I am exhausted then. And what I usually do to unwind, which is probably the worst thing I'm going to tell you to do, but I'm going to just be honest with you. what I do is I tend to buy a bottle of wine on the way home, and I have probably half a glass before I fall asleep. But I have a glass of wine, and then I sit and watch something like Friends or like Modern Family or Bridesmaids or something funny, and I just sit, because otherwise if I don't, the messages can play on my mind, especially if it's something like someone lost their husband and they've got children, something I can relate to, or if someone's lost a child. You know, I sit and possibly cry on the way home, which sounds really sad, but I do. I sit in the car and I cry. I have noticed as well, when I do live audiences, I have to get someone to drive me back usually, because I'm just too tired. I'm just absolutely drained. So they do drain me. They absolutely do. But it's the adrenaline of being on a stage, and there's a lot of pressure to keep people, and these live streams, a lot of pressure to keep people entertained, because you're delivering information, you don't want to be boring. But I want to be who I am at the same time. So I want to be true to who I am at soul level, and I think I'm hilarious and crack jokes and stuff. So there's a lot of, and I kind of want to make sure I'm giving people the right information, but I'm also making it interesting for everyone else at the same time, and I'm keeping the connection clear. So yes, a long answer, but in answer to your question, very exhausted when I've done a live audience. So I tend to book the next day out and make sure that I recharge. And I usually go for like a massage or something, or I go around the shops, or I go and meet my mom or dad for a coffee and just do something really lovely. So a lot of you are saying, that's how I feel scared. Oh, bless you. Yeah, I felt scared as well, Eva, but the alternative is to, you know, be having the experiences that you've got now for long term. So it's just weighing up the pros and cons. But I always say to you, just find the right person for you to teach you. Like, go to the group that you feel aligned to go to. That might not be me, and that's absolutely fine. You've got to go with who you feel aligned to. You know, I might say things that just don't resonate with you, but you actually might like to go to a spiritualist church. You might get a really good vibe in there and feel really supported. And if that's the case, make sure you follow that and listen to it, because you will develop better where you feel the most comfortable. And that's the absolute truth. So where you feel safe, you will develop quicker and feel more alive with it and feel more in line. Gemma's saying, what was the turning point for you? So when did I actually stop being scared, and when did I just start embracing it? A near-death experience. So with my daughter, who's 16 now, bless her, it was Christmas Day. I've done a blog on this, and if you've been following me for a while, I'm sorry, you've heard this story about 55,000 times, but here we go. So I was in the delivery suite and I had placenta abruption. Has anyone ever had that or know what it is? It's basically where the placenta's born before the baby, so the mother and baby are in terrible danger. Probably more so the baby, but I'd also got preeclampsia and I was in a bad way. Anyway, I haven't been doing any spiritual work, and I believe that if I did it when I was pregnant, it would harm the baby, and that's exactly what I was thinking, and that's rubbish. So I was like, right, okay, I can't do it. I must protect my baby. I was so neurotic. It was like next level. Anyway, so I was in the delivery room and I was bleeding. I was hemorrhaging. And they stopped the hemorrhaging, but I'd lost an awful lot of blood. And basically my mum was with me. It was Christmas Day and we're in the delivery room. God, it still makes me emotional to think about it. And I was really, really poorly, but I didn't realise everything was calm. Everything was normal. They just said, get some rest now, get some sleep, and then we'll start you off with oxytocin to get everything going, and then we'll start with the actual process of labour. So it was all calm, and all the emergency had happened. I looked up, so I was trying to get some rest, and I looked up in the room and I could see spirits everywhere, literally everywhere. People I didn't know, all queuing up, all sat on the windowsills, and I thought they were doing a hospital tour, because the people were so clear. Years ago you could go around all the hospital and have like a tour. But there was no one pregnant. There was all like nuns and looked like builders and people dressed up in like office clothes and all different types of people. No one I knew. And I was like, there's not one of them that's a medic. And I thought, what are they all doing in here? So I tapped my mum because she was asleep, and I said, Mum, who are those people over there? And she's like, there's no one there. And then she went, what on earth have they given you? Seriously, what have they given you? And she went, and I said, Mum, can you hear them? They're all whispering. I could hear them talking. They were like, shh, 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 like talking amongst themselves. So I said, hello, you okay? And Mum was like, don't speak to them, don't speak to them. Put your head down, go to sleep and behave. And I was like, behave? I'm about to give birth, Mum. You can't shout to me to behave. But I didn't realise what she was wrong with that. And I was like, what's wrong? But she was scared because she knew how severe my illness was and how bad the blood loss was. And she was like praying. So anyway, all the spirits were there. What we learnt were the spirits were there to support me. So after that, it did go a bit wrong and I did nearly die. So it was a really awful experience, and I was in intensive care and it was terrible. I was really ill for a long time. But I remember thinking when I recovered, I said to Mom, do you remember what I said to you? And she said, yeah. She says, and I felt them, I could feel the breeze. She says, but I didn't want you to talk to them just because I didn't want them to take you. And I was like, oh. And I said, Mom, they didn't take me. They were there to look after me. And once I realised that spirit weren't there to terrify the life out of you, they're actually there to look after you, I was like, right, I'm going to do something. I'm going to pay them back. So grateful I've got my life. So grateful I've got a healthy baby. I was like, I'm going to pay them back. I'm going to do something and really look into this. So I did. I started looking into spiritualism. But after that, it took at least another, so I was 23, and I started giving readings at 26 privately and secretly. And then I started to, so that was 3 years. And then I was reading all the way up until I got to, well, I've always been reading, but I did on and off, like I'd give 6 months off and then I'd start again because I wasn't open properly. But I trained in and out of loads of different schools, etc. for all of those years. So however many years that is. So yeah, it was really hard. Chelsea's saying, exhausted, taking on others' emotional energy. Oh yes, Chelsea, if you're a natural empath, you are gifted. And if you are a natural empath, you must get some support for it and help yourself close off from energy. Otherwise, you're just going to feel like crap, and that's not what anyone wants you to feel. We don't want you to retain any vibration that's not going to serve you, because then you go lower in the vibration, and then you are more at risk of attracting lower energies and lower vibrations from spirit world and the humans. Okay. I worry about my daughter all the time and it's stopping me. Carly, yeah, that's exactly like me. I was worried. I thought, what if I bring something in the house? What if something happens? But Carly, if you operate from the highest vibration, then you will be supported in the highest vibration, and that's what I teach you. And also, if you are staying undeveloped, guys, you're more at risk of energies attaching themselves to you, because you're in the mindset of, and you're in the, I don't want to say vulnerability, I'm trying to find the word, but you're basically open. You're not protecting yourself enough, no matter what you think you're doing, unless you train yourself and do it on a regular occasion and really take the time to do it, then you won't be protecting yourself fully. So actually, it's better for your children. What I learned to realise, it's better for my babies if I have an understanding of spirituality, an understanding of what's happening to me, an understanding of my gift, and then that's going to benefit them as well. There we go. Sorry if I'm talking too much. I don't even know how long I've been on. My daughter won't close down. How old is she, Rebecca, darling? Because some children, they just can't. The other night I was sat in my room watching the laptop. I felt weird and felt someone behind me. I turned around and at the corner I saw a tall, dark shadow. Even my daughter stirred in bed at the same time, and then we went back to sleep. Ah, it's nice though, isn't it? So just say hi next time it happens. If you feel brave, say hi, thanks for coming. We're not quite ready for you. I'm still learning and developing, but if you want to come back when I'm developed, you'd be most welcome when I'm ready to speak with you. So just say it like you wouldn't say to a stranger, not that a stranger be in your room, but imagine a stranger in the shop come up to you and sort of blocked your pathway. Most people wouldn't go, get out of my face, or oh, I can't believe you're standing right there. You'd be like, oh, excuse me, do you mind if I just go around this way? You know, and then you'd manoeuvre around, wouldn't you? So just be exactly the same as spirit. Tell them what you want. You know, you're always in charge of your gift. People think that they're not, but they are. This makes sense why my daughter loves it so much. She's always asking things. Ah, yes, Rebecca. Danielle saying yes. Karen said, I've been reading your posts all week. Oh, lovely, Karen. Thank you, my fan. And I have 8 or 9 of your spiritual markers, and I wake up often at 3:33 a.m. Ooh. And sometimes I dream things that come true, but when people put photos on Spirits and White Feathers and everyone can see faces or figures, I can't see anything, so I'm confused. Okay, so Karen, Spirits and White Feathers, I've got to go in and do a live about this. There's too many things going in there, too many pictures, and people getting annoyed if I don't publish their pictures. But basically, I don't want it to be that environment, because if you're reading... So the thing is, Karen, if you've answered yes to most of the questions on that sheet of the top 10 signs, then you have a gift of some description. If you're being woken up between the hours of 3 and 4 a.m., 3 or 4 a.m. in particular, guys, you have a spiritual gift. Now, if you can't get certain things from photos, it's right, the fan's driving me mad. if you can't get certain things from photos, it doesn't mean you don't have a gift. It means you have a different gateway. So we'll take the time to actually understand that and get that gateway under wraps. The thing is with photos, and the reason I don't want them all sort of published constantly in that group, is because I can't respond to every single one of them. The other day I had 65 people trying to put them in within the space of like 30 minutes. And my heart goes out to those souls that miss their loved ones, of course, absolutely. But I don't want somebody to have their picture posted and then somebody just comment and say something that might upset them when they're vulnerable, and it might not be 100% right because maybe they're not developed. And also, when you are reading photographs, you can pick up the energy, which is what we go into in psychic school, the energy of the photo, the person at the photo point when it was taken. So you might not pick up on the energy of the person towards the end of their life, but you'll pick up what was going on within that person at the time the photograph was taken. So they're not always valid. They're usually done in trainings with me, and photo reading is something we cover, but it's to really link in and really hook onto the energy of the person, to use that as your gateway and link into spirit world. All right, so don't feel that you've not got a gift because you can't see certain things in photos. It's just that that's not your gateway. It's something we need to unlock. So if you can imagine, does anyone here have children, or has anyone ever seen like a game, like a, you know, the gamey things, Nintendo things, whatever they're called? Can tell we don't have one, but gamer things. Once you get like on the games, you can get certain levels, and once you unlock it, you get to the next level. So this is exactly the same as spirit. So once you get to one game point, like you unlock it, and then the next thing comes through, you work your way up, then you unlock the next door, then the next door, then the next door, then the next door. That's how it works. So what you would be doing, Karen, is unlocking the doors on your way forward. All right, so just because one thing you can't do doesn't mean that you are not gifted. Okay, so please don't worry. Before on the other occasion at the corner, I've seen white light. White lights are angels, so that's angels all around you. Yes, and I can feel really uplifted. Yes, Emma, that's it. As soon as you start developing, you start feeling uplifted. Tracy's saying this is what it's like for small children. They see the detail in the world and love it. Yes, exactly, they do, don't they? They see things that we just don't see and we take for granted. I'm adamant 7 years ago I had contact with a lady in spirit. It feels so real to me. I can remember every detail about the lady. And we spoke about when I spoke to my mum and sister about this lady, and they said there was no one there. Maybe it was nothing, but it feels so real to me. If it feels real to you, Amy, take the time to develop, have a look and make that connection again, and the lady might come through again. And, you know, you can believe whatever you feel is right for you. But you just know. Once you've made a connection with spirit, and once you've got that link with them, you just know. There's no way to really describe it. You just know. You know that you've linked in with them. Like the hairs on the back of your neck, I want to say, but on your arms. The hairs on your arms, you get goosebumps, you get temperature changes, you know, you get just a feeling that someone's with you. You get a feeling that someone's watching you. Sometimes, you know, it can be a bit weird, but most of the time it's in a non-weird way. But you do get used to it, like you get used to having them around you. And if anything, I find it a comfort, because I always feel like, you know, we're in like a dodgy area. Sounds really dodgy, but we were in a dodgy area a few weeks ago, and I needed to get out the car and go to get something from the shop, and we were lost, basically. We were lost, that's why we're in a dodgy area. And I was like, I'm going to run out the car and get something from the shop. And the girl said, Mum, you can't get out the car here. Oh no. And I was like, it's fine, I'm good, I'm all sorted, it's fine, I'm protected. And they're like, oh yeah. And my friends that are scared of flying, and we went on a girls' holiday, and they're on the plane on the way back, and my friend was like, can I sit by you? And I was like, yeah, of course. And she was like really adamant she wanted to sit by me, and there was like, we had to move people on the plane, cause carnage, and she sat by me. And I said, why are you so adamant to sit by me? She went, well, because nothing ever hurts you, does it? Because you're guarded by everything up there. And I was like, well, I wouldn't say nothing ever hurts me. I'm not an angel, you know. I'm a human, but yes, I do have angelic realm around me. But that's how you feel. You feel protected. You feel looked after. So it's only a good thing. Carly's saying, anytime I meditate and ask for spirit guide, I see a big ball of purple and blue light. It pulses in front of me. Feels weird. Is this my spirit guide? Feel a bit crazy. Haha. See, I knew, Carly, someone would say it. You're gonna think I'm a bit crazy, or I feel a bit crazy. But get used to feeling crazy. That's the way it is. Okay, so yes, it absolutely is. So purple is spiritual connection. and blue lights are your guides and guardian angels around you. Sometimes as well, when you get colours at the corner of your eye, you get, if they're not like bright balls of light, but just like a colour, it's the aura, so it's your angels trying to send you something. So if, for example, you see not a ball of blue light, but you saw like the colour blue out of your corner of your eye, they're trying to send you blue calming, like balancing, and just give you a lovely light all around you. I did this on a live stream when I was doing readings a few weeks ago, and I was like putting angel lights all around you, like angel colours. That's what they're trying to do there. So that's the difference between the two. Oh God, I've got low battery. It's all going today, isn't it? Right, I'll try and answer a few more questions, but if I get cut off, it is the battery, it's not spirit this time. They seem to be, touch wood, behaving themselves. Let's have a look. Yes, Claire, you caught me live. Hey everyone joining. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I've got some of my lovely friends here, some of my besties on live. Don't you see enough of me, guys? Right, let's have a look. Who am I coming to? Keep your questions coming. So Caroline's saying, I work at a doctor's surgery and I feel all people's emotions and I can go home tired. Sometimes I'll be sad for no reason. Yep, so you sound like, Caroline, a natural empath. So you might want to protect your energy there. And we do protection on, I think it's week 3, and it's really, really, really good. We'll go into it in detail. Yes, that's it. Tracy's saying, the biggest lesson I've learned from your talks is to learn how to switch spirit on and off instead of wanting it 24/7. Absolutely. You can't do anything 24/7. Can you imagine? Literally everything. You couldn't eat 24/7. You couldn't be with a certain one person 24/7. You just couldn't, could you? It just wouldn't be possible. So it's like exactly the same as spirit. Sam's saying, I think I have a gift, but 100%, but not 100% sure, as it only happens when I'm at home or very familiar place. It's because you feel safe and you're calmer. I sense things around and sometimes see images in my head of people who I don't know. Interesting. Could be like loved ones attached to you from way back. I see shadows moving, and on the very odd occasion I've seen faces or figures. Amazing. I really pick up on people's moods. If they're down or upset, I start to feel that way. I wake up every morning in between 3:30 and 4:30, then struggle to get back off. Yes, you have a gift, Sam. Time to develop, darling. Don't worry. Oh, Josie started doing readings. I've started doing a few readings. Woohoo! And I can only get a couple of pieces of information from spirit before I lose the connection. Then I get frustrated. A lovely grandma came through and showed me a plate of biscuits last week. That's it. Will I get better at this? Oh, Josie, yes, absolutely. So I'm glad you said that. I call it losing Wi-Fi. So I go, oh, I've lost Wi-Fi, hang on, like, let me get my connection back. Now, I teach this because when you're training and when you're starting to read for people the first time, you do tend to lose the connection quite a lot. So it'll come, then it'll go, then it'll come and go. And to try and keep the flow, because the person will, like the person you're reading for, if you keep losing the connection, they will start to be like, you know, is this really working? I don't think I trust what you say. And then once they get into that mindset, the barriers of their human energy start to close off, and they can start to block you off, and they might not trust what you're actually saying to them. So yeah, it's a bit hit and miss, isn't it? So I do understand that. But what you can actually do is, and what we teach you in psychic school, is how to link in, back in, and get more information. So how you can sort of bridge the gap between that when you've lost the connection and when you're trying to get it back, so you don't get frustrated and you don't go into freak out mode and think you've got nothing and think you're no good and you can't read. You will get better, and we teach you the bridging gap in between, so that then you can actually connect again, and then you can bring spirit back through. So I teach you all that, don't worry. I sent the question in the previous live, can you see it? Oh, sorry, Eva, I can't. So sorry. For some reason, it's just all going a bit cray-cray. Yes, lots of people hear the names, and they kind of whisper it, don't they, Wendy? They'll be like, Wendy. It's almost like they don't do themselves any favours, spirit. I'm sitting here telling you not to be scared, and then I'll get Katie, and I'm like, can't you say it in a better voice than Katie? It's like, it sounds really scary. It sounds something like out The Shining, doesn't it? But I hear my name being said when I'm on my own, and see shadows of people and a black animal out the corner of my eye, which gets my attention. and I acknowledge it, and then nothing after that. Is it a gradual process to be able to talk with guides and angels? Yes, absolutely. And it's a relationship that you build over time. So you've got to kind of, the reason people slow down that relationship building is because they get fixated on who their guide actually is, and they're like, who is my guide? Who is my guide? I need to know who it is. I need to know who's giving me this information. And I get that, because you're going to pass on this information to somebody, then you want to make sure it's right. And if you're a good medium, and you're a loving medium, or you're a caring medium, or a caring spiritual soul, you won't want to just be saying any old rubbish and something you're not sure of to people, because people really take on board what you say. So you've got a duty of care to make sure that you are right and that you are connected. So yes, you want to really enhance that relationship with your angels and your guides, but to slow down that relationship, the quickest way to do that is to be so fixated on who the information's coming from. You've kind of got to call on the highest level and the highest vibration, and keep yourself at a high vibration, which is a step that people always don't do, and they tend to just bypass. They put themselves last in the list, and they're all about connection, connection, connection. And I'm like, no, it's vibration, 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 protection, protection, protection. Because then when you're operating at that highest level, you attract the highest level guides, the highest level angels, and the information comes through so much clearer, and you feel so much more loved. Like, the people having the reading feel so much more loved, and the information, like, you know what they can handle, you know what information to pass over to them. You don't just say any old rubbish, and you don't say anything bluntly. You think of a way to actually convey it in a way that will actually suit them. You know, oh God, it wasn't years ago, it was, I don't know when it was, I think it was 2018 maybe, not really relevant. Anyway, I went to Mind, Body and Spirit event in London, and there was this little lady, and she was sobbing her heart out, and it nearly broke my heart, because she'd gone to like a big tent where they had hundreds of different readers, and these readers had been reading all day, and this gentleman had told her that by the time she got home from Mind, Body and Spirit, her husband would be dead in the chair. And I was like, what? And she was absolutely sobbing. She was too terrified to go home because they lived alone. She couldn't get through to him on the phone. She was panicking, and she was literally sobbing, and I was furious. I was so angry, and I was like, Katie, you've got to calm down. So I was trying to console this lady, but I was like, yeah, which one was it? And I'm like this, patting her on the arm. Which one was it? She's like, I don't know, he was in the tent over there. And I was like this, and I was thinking, oh, and I was really, really, really mad, because I think it's people like that would send people over the edge. She's an old lady, and she's got to travel home, and you know, she lives on her own with his partner, and you just do not say something like that. That's awful. Like, it was awful, and it wasn't even true. Like, I tuned in for her there and then, and I was like, he's absolutely fine, you don't need to worry. And then she called me as she got home and let me know that everything was okay, because I was panicking about her being on her own. I was like, oh my God. But anyway, if you've got a duty of care, you absolutely have got a duty of care. So the more that you work on your vibration and your well-being, you operate at a higher level, and as you operate at a higher level, you attract the higher energies, and you have compassion and love. And then people that have readings, and I know people, not to blow my own trumpet, but people who have readings with me just say they love to be in the energy, and they love to be feeling loved and secure and looked after, so that they're trusting, because it's a massive thing, guys, for people to have these. And even if you're not a reader, maybe you're a healer, then you're still got to be healing at the highest vibration and not transmitting energy that is stagnated and old and not highest level. So you've got to make sure that if you're healing someone, you're fully vibrationally high yourself, to be able to give them the healing that they deserve and the healing that's really going to benefit them. So yeah, does that make sense? Lovely. Oh, thanks guys, you're saying that makes sense. Do I use sage? No. It makes me sneeze. So no, I don't use sage. I don't believe in that. I don't believe it's necessary. But what I do is I burn candles constantly in my house. It's like a seance, literally. So there's candles everywhere, because I believe that candles create a calming environment and cleanse the energy. Plus, if you ever do get to come in my house, people walk in and say, it's so weird, I feel so protected here, I feel so loved. So I call on protection constantly in my house. But I don't use joss sticks or anything like that. To be honest, I've got really bad asthma, so I'll probably like, I won't be able to breathe. But yeah, I don't feel it's a necessity. I use my crystals and I call in my guides. I've got such a strong connection with them, it's fine. But you do what feels right for you. It's not wrong to sage, it's just not something that feels aligned. So Stacey's saying, I feel so much more open now and relaxed. Ask for a sign from spirits and I get the answer, either hearing or seeing a sign. Yes! And Stacey, doesn't it feel more relaxing and calming because you've got that support, which is amazing. And just think of all the gorgeous souls you can help, which will literally just make you feel so, so happy. Let's have a look. Yeah. Rebecca, darling, if you go onto my YouTube, you'll be able to help your little girl. She's only young. If you go onto YouTube, there's some bubble protections for children that I've created. I think there's one that's calming, so if she gets distressed, there's a calming one. And there's also a webinar training, which is free on YouTube as well. You have to do a bit of searching, but just type in like children on my page or something, you'll find it. That will teach you how to handle a psychic child, so it should really help you. I hope it does anyway, darling. I hope it brings you some peace. Let's have a look. I'm an empath, always feel drained. Oh yes, we need to get that sorted. Who else? Somebody else asked a question I was going to come to. You've got some good questions, guys. I love hearing them all. Are you ready for your update? I've got something that I want to share with you all. It's a surprise. It's a surprise and it's a challenge. Are you ready for your surprise and your challenge? I'm going to tell you in a minute what it is. And you guys are the first to know. Nobody else knows this yet. Evening, I hear voices and see a few spirits. I do meditation every morning. Amazing, Michelle. Do you close off as well? Make sure you close off as soon as you've done your meditation. Carly's saying I need to go. No problem, Carly, darling. I'll see you soon. I've heard my dad call my name. Amazing, how wonderful. Sorry, I was just reading somebody put how awful, so I was crossing my words then. I know, yeah, it was horrible. It was really sad, but I was so angry. It is the responsibility that feels nerve-wracking to me. Yes, absolutely. I just want to make sure I'm getting the messages right for people. Absolutely. And the thing is, you do have to, like, a sense of duty, and you can. I only really feel pressured when it's somebody like, when somebody's hired me for like a group event and it's somebody they really, really want to connect with, then I feel a little bit pressured. And then if it's a live audience, I feel pressure as well to get it right for them. And also I feel pressure not to say anything too personal because of being in a live environment. So those times are the only times I feel a little bit like, oh God, you know, I've got to make sure I'm on my top game here and really connected and really got to ramp it up. But ultimately, Spirit wants to pass on lots of love. And you might get, it could be, the thing is, don't let it hold you back if you can't give someone a full 30-minute reading, because you'll give someone peace and clarity and lift them up and give them that grain of hope and that little message, any snippet of information. You could say something like, I can see, I don't know, a certain type of jewellery and describe it, or a clock. And that could just mean the world to that person. That could be everything to them. That could help them sleep that night. That could give them the comfort that they know that they're looked after, that they know that person's all right, that this transitioned over. And that's all that matters. That's all you want, because when you've lost someone and you're grieving that heavily, that will give you the light to survive and to actually go, I can get up today and I can actually cope today. You know, when people are really in the depths of despair, not everyone's like that, but it just gives them that little grain of hope. So don't disregard your capabilities just because you might be able to get a snippet or 5 minutes of a reading or something, because that could mean everything to someone. It can mean absolutely everything. And you've all got to start somewhere. Everyone has. And you only get better at things over time. And you absolutely, if you're gifted, you will be guided and you'll get better and better and better. Tracy's saying, Katie, do you have music in the background when meditating? No, I don't. So I find that distracting, and music I find, I just find it distracting. So I meditate and I connect, and I use music as more of like an uplifter. So again, if I've had a really heavy reading, I'll crank up some dance tunes and put it on really loud and take myself to another world and just start dancing, having fun. So yeah, there you go. So stuff like that. But no, I have guided meditations because my mind tends to wander because I've got such a busy mind as well. All right, so I hope that helps. Is it possible for you to connect with a spirit that their family doesn't know if they have passed? Oh yes, absolutely, and it's really awkward. And also that's happened so many times, and you don't realise that you're telling them that this person's passed, and then they find out, yes, afterwards that they have. So yeah, there's been some uncomfortable moments where that's happened. But also, what can also happen to people is if someone's had like, has anyone ever heard of a TIA? It's like a mini stroke. So if someone's had a TIA, or if someone's had a severe head injury, or if they're in a coma, or if they've had Alzheimer's, they've had Alzheimer's or anything like that, then if it's something where the body's in trauma or the head's in trauma, the soul of that person can drift in and out of spirit world. And when they drift in and out of spirit world, you can communicate with them. So you could communicate to somebody in a coma if you're a medium, and you can communicate with somebody that's got Alzheimer's as if they haven't got Alzheimer's, because they drift in and out of spiritual world, okay? So that's something that I found quite interesting, and something I like to let people be aware of, because I didn't know this until about 3 years ago, when I was communicating with someone that got Alzheimer's that was living, and I was baffled, and somebody in a coma, and I was answering and talking all about the tubes and everything and the illness that they got and what people were saying around them. And I was like, how am I doing this? Because they're in a coma, so they can communicate with you, because the soul temporarily sometimes transitions to spirit world and they can come back. Do you feel your angels, guides, physically touch you? Yeah, all the time. They stroke my hair, they tap me on the shoulder, they tickle my ear. So if my ear goes fuzzy or weird on the right side, it's my angels want me. If it's on my left side, spirit guides want me. So sometimes if I'm with my business clients and we're just having a quick catch up at the start of the call and haven't opened up to spirit, and they're asking me questions about what to do with their businesses and stuff, I'll get like a burning or like a buzz or a fuzz on my ear, buzz, whatever you want to call it, like a tickle. Or sometimes they'll blow on my face. They blow on my face in the morning, which isn't always pleasant, and I get like a big puff of air. Or a temperature sudden drop, or they'll touch my arm and everything will go goosebumpy. When I was a child, I used to sit watching, does everyone remember Home and Away and Neighbours? Neighbours was on first, then you'd stay and watch Home and Away. Well, you'd switch channels and watch Home and Away. And they're Australian soaps for anyone that's from America here or somewhere else. And they were really good. I used to love them. I don't know if they're still going. Does anyone know? Anyway, I used to sit and put my hands up. So Mum would be making like tea, so we'd be in the living room, like either on my own with my brother, who wouldn't speak to me then, and we'd sit there, and I'd got my hands up, and I'd sit like with them on my lap, and I'd feel spirit like stroking my hands and like holding my hand and stroking my hands. So that was before obviously I knew how to close down. They'd sit beside me watching Home and Away and Neighbours. There you go. Every time I've been to an open circle, someone strokes my hair, I assume it's my nana. Yeah, lots of times, guys. Let me just have a drink. Hang on. Lots of times, your guides and your spirit guides will be your loved ones that will carry on and look after you over the other side. So that really helps me. That really helped me feel connected and help me have a link, because. And I always say to people, if they become like obsessed with who their guide is, then to stop the obsession and stop them holding back and slowing down the progression, I'm like, well, do you have a loved one on the other side that you trust and love and cherish? And most people have, sadly, have got somebody over there. In which case, visualize them and call them in and ask them to be your guide. And just know that they are your guide. When you see them, you feel them, you know, envisage them as your guide, because that helps the connection, helps the strength. Behind that person, that loved one, is other guides and other energies and other entities that look after you. So those people are behind the guides as well, right? So they are naturally there. But it helps your connection and speed things along if you know that your guide is one of your relatives. It just really does help. So yes, if you have a relative that is over in spirit world, call them in to be your guides, because it will help your connection tenfold. If you don't know if you have a spiritual gift, is it possible to learn how to become a medium? Great question, Michelle, and the answer to that is no. If you don't have a gift, then you can't become a medium. You can become spiritually aware, you can become spiritually intuitive and open, but to connect with the other side and to pass on messages and do it the justice it deserves, no, you do have to have a natural element of mediumship skills. But either way, you'll still benefit if you start developing and really looking after your gift and taking the time to understand it. You know, you could have like a natural empathy gift, and then you'll still benefit from learning all the tools and learning how to close down, and that will really help you. How long have I been on this live stream? I don't even know. And my battery's so going to die, so I'm going to call it a day in a minute. But I want to tell you my surprise, guys. I want to tell you a surprise because it's really good. I get a buzz in my ears, and I used to think it was some kind of warning when I was younger. Now I know what it is. I can listen to my guides. Yeah, that's what it is. I went to have ear checks and everything. The amount of people in psychic school over the past few years have gone and had all their ears checked and everything, thinking there was something wrong with them or thinking they've got tinnitus. And like, it's crazy. Rosie's saying, recently now and again my face gets tingly. I'm wondering, is that a sign that spirit are near or trying to get in contact? Yes. Is it the left cheek, right cheek? Let me know. Your gateway sounds, Rosie, could be that you feel people's emotions, you feel people's illnesses, you feel people that transition over the other side through what they transition from in your body. Tracy's saying, have you ever been physically sick after reading or opening up? No. No, I'm trying to think. The only one that was really hard was a murder, but I've had a few murders now, so, and I could see the faces, so they didn't show me, he didn't take me through, bless him, he was a gorgeous man as well, so beautiful, so young, and I won't tell you the situation, but he didn't show me how they did it and what they did, but I was lying down, I was him, and he took me to the scene, and it was all being replayed, and there was all these faces, and I could see the faces of all the people that were on top of him, and that was really hard. And yeah, that was a bit emotional, but then he made light of it after. Like, I know that sounds really weird, but he did. He was like, I was asking him questions and asking him to tell me more information and asking how he was and asking for information on his family so I could pass on more information to them. So we kind of ended up in like a bit of a chit chat and a bit of banter. So it was actually all right in the end, but what a way to go. Horrendous, poor thing. And I was so glad, because I said, did they actually get convicted, the people? And they did, they caught them. And I was like, if they didn't, I saw the faces that clearly. I probably could have gone and, not that it'd be valid in a court and all that jazz, but I could have gone and actually said, this is who it was. So it was that clear. Sometimes I get strong messages and other times I get nothing. Oh yeah, Lucy, I had that for years. That's why I kept stopping and starting, going, I don't have a gift, I do have a gift, I don't have a gift, I do have a gift, I don't. But all it is, it's down to the person that you're reading, and we go through this in psychic school. It can be a combination of humans can block you out, so people will book a reading with you, or you might try and read somebody, and you always, that's one thing I wanted to say to you, I should have said at the beginning. Before you read anyone, you absolutely have to have permission. You can't use these gifts and sneakily start reading people without their permission. That's wrong. And also the person probably will feel you doing it and can block you out. So they will block you out. So yeah, there's a couple of things. If someone's a skeptic, or if they don't want to be read for but they've booked but they're scared, or they're not feeling very well, they've got a heavy cold, or anything that's wrong with them, then it can act as a blocker. Also, if they're massively grief-stricken, it can act as a blocker as well to spirit world. So it's not you and your ability, it can be the human that you're reading as well. There's lots of factors. Yeah. Amazing. So you're empaths. Yeah, guys, this is it. So psychic school is open. It's open and ready for you all to sign up. The preschool is still available as well, which is free, the free Facebook group. But psychic school is there ready to go and accept students, and people are already signed up and they're going through the bonus content that's there at the moment. Now the school is, because people do worry about time, so the school is pre-recorded, but you get support from myself on live streams, but it's all there on a platform. You get the content for live. And I've done it that way because when I try and do it in real time, people have things happening in life, and people have things that they're just busy. So at least this way you've got your own time, you can run at your own pace, and you don't feel like you're in competition or comparing yourself to other people and their abilities, and you can just really develop in your own space at your own free will. Now, the special offer for Psychic School, there's a massive special offer on at the moment, and you'd be crazy to miss it. So if you want to join the school, you need to join before the 25th, which is next Friday of September, because that's when the early bird closes and it's finished. So get yourself in the school. If you've had any of these experiences or anything that I've talked about tonight, if any of it's resonated with you or anything I've said on the previous live streams, go for it. Take the chance. It'll be the best thing you ever do. It really will. You'll feel so free and so liberated. It'll be amazing. So the link to the Psychic School is in the top of the live stream, hopefully, because we had technical problems, but it's there. So make sure you click on it and it'll take you through to the page and you can select the 3 levels. There's VIP, which is the top level, but that's really for people that want to become a medium and do this for a living full time and want to build a successful business. If that's you, then, and you're already reading, you need to get yourself in the VIP. If you are interested and had experiences, and a lot of you here need to be straight into level 1 and 2 combined. Level 1 is the very, very basic one that is really for just people that are a bit scared and just want to tiny dip themselves into it and just see how they get on. All right, so I've covered everybody, covered every angle, and it's all there for you to go and have. Don't sit and struggle. Don't worry about your gift. Don't sit there and make it the ball and chain like I did for so long. Don't do that to yourself. Feel the benefit. Life's too short. I know that for a fact. The people I meet, some people just get taken too soon. So go and do it now whilst you've got the chance and take the time to learn, and you'll be so looked after. So looked after. Now, are you ready for your surprise? That wasn't your surprise. Drum roll, please. Are you ready? Tomorrow evening, I'm going to be live reading for you all. Yeah, I'm going to be reading, but not just me. So all of my psychic preschool students are going to be invited to come on to join the live stream. And if they have your permission when we select someone, I will make sure I've got permission, then you can have readings from not only myself, but the psychic school students can test out their abilities at the same time. Now, this is a really hard test because to do it on a live stream when you can't see someone's face, feel their energy or anything like that is really hard, but it's going to be absolutely brilliant. So my darlings, you've got to join me tomorrow for that. I'll put all the details out on my social media, so make sure you're on my mailing list, make sure you're watching my page, make sure you've got the button that says following, make sure you're clicking on there to check that you're following me, and also give these guys a chance to really test their skills out. So if you were watching this and you feel like you've got on a skill and you're still not sure, join the live stream tomorrow evening, test it out, you're in a safe environment, and let's get going. Let's see what you've got. Let's see what you're made of. Woohoo! All right, my darlings, I'm going to leave it there because I'm sure that this has been probably the longest live stream ever. I can't seem to do short ones, but I love you all so much. I really do. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Big kisses, big loves. Mwah!